Hi, we are going to present about Frankenstein Chapter 2.
The story begins with Victor Frankenstein telling how his childhood was, and he spent a lot of time with his best friend and cousin Elizabeth, that her mother died, and his family recently adopted her because of her mother. So the chapter 2 ends with Victor's teenager era. The most important character of chapter 2 was Victor Frankenstein, that was born in Naples. He was born in a wealthy family, and he was also very important because he is like the main character on the story and who creates Frankenstein.
He studies the outdated findings of the alchemists Agrippa, Paracelsus, and Albertus Magnus with enthusiasm. He witnesses the destructive power of nature when, during a raging storm, lightning destroys a tree near his house. Another natural philosopher accompanying the Frankenstein family explains to Victor the working of electricity, making the ideas of the alchemists seem outdated and worthless. In the 1818 version, a demonstration of electricity by his father convinces Victor.
I'm going to present about the introduction of Frankenstein in the Chapter 2. Elizabeth. She was the best friend of Frankenstein, and she suffered in her childhood. When Victor was still 4, Elizabeth's mother died, and that made her a sad person. She still was appreciated by the adoptive family, but she missed her old one by the things she was left. You can tell she was a strong and soft character. The place where the story begins is in Victor's family house. You can tell this because the story begins with Victor's and his childhood, so he obviously has spent most of his childhood in his house.
I'm gonna talk about Victor's childhood. When Victor becomes a teenager, he becomes fascinated by natural philosophy and also grew up with Elizabeth as best friends. Victor's friendship with Henry Cleaver also made an important part in the story and takes place when he was a kid, that they most developed memory.